Well, what a what a time to be alive right now, I guess. Yeah, starting in 2028, PlayStation isn't making physical games again. Not the best news to start the month with. And this whole situation with PlayStation right now is actively pissing me off because PlayStation and Sony knows exactly what they're doing. Cuz dude, if you go to their Twitter, they posted the announcement and they freaking July 1st, right? And then just today, when I'm recording this, is when they started tweeting again. It's July 7th. 6 days that they haven't said anything. Like, they know exactly that people are pissed about this and they don't give a single fuck about it. They are just they are just ignoring everything. And it's with this news from PlayStation that I just really want to rant about why physical media still matters, because companies like Sony and I think Xbox too, they forget why people like physical media. Actually, it's not just companies too. There's a concerning amount of people that think digital only is the future of gaming. And no. Nothing. This entire industry should not just be fully digital, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why this this whole industry shouldn't be digital, and the reason is because if every game that you buy is on the PlayStation or Xbox store or whatever the online storefronts for those are, they can easily take away any game you buy. You will spend $80 on a brand new AAA game that they released. And maybe one day in the future they decide, no, we actually we don't want to sell that game anymore. We don't like it. So they just take it off the storefront, right? And then they don't refund you the money. They don't, hell, they might not even say anything about it. They just take it off and just hope no one notices. And it's no one wants that. No one wants to not own their own games. And that's, that whole thing, that also pisses me off about how companies, I think, yeah, PlayStation, I think was one of the companies, how they're always pushing the oh, when you buy games on our storefront, you don't own them. You only buy a license to play them. And that just, that statement, that sentiment that they have just pisses me off so much, because no one wants to own a license to play a game that can be easily revoked at any day that the company feels like. It's just ugh. And that relates to the first thing I want to talk about as to why physical media is very important. It's that when you buy a physical game, you actually own it. Can you believe it? You actually own a game you buy physically. When you own a game physically, you get to keep it, right? You can do anything you want. You can play it, you can use the disc as a freaking cup holder, use the case as, I don't know, a fly swatter. It's your game, right? As soon as you buy it from the store, it's yours. You can do what you want, and you don't have to worry about losing a license. You get to keep the game forever, or at least until, as long as you have it, you can keep it. And arguably, that's the thing that makes physical media the most important thing ever in the gaming industry. Being able to actually own every game you buy, instead of having a license, as companies put it, to play them, is an extremely important part of being a consumer. Because it's important that we actually get to own the things we buy, that we don't have to worry about what we buy being revoked or changed or disappearing from libraries without any kind of notice or without any reason, and without any refund too. I think recently PlayStation just erased a bunch of movies from their store, and they did it without any warning, so people would just go to their PlayStations or whatever. Yeah, I think it was on PlayStation, that, and the movies would be gone without and it was without any notice and without refunds too. It's they can just take shit away and not give you money back for it. That's the very least they could do with the whole license thing, is that if they take away the license, they should give you the money back. But they're not going to do that, because it's we're living in the big 2026. Corporations are as greedy as ever. So anyway, you know what else is important as to the reasoning as to why physical games should still be made. Preservation. Preservation, I cannot hammer this in enough. Preservation is extremely important in the gaming industry because games go off sale all the fucking time. Because, like, with every previous console made, you can still... There are still physical remnants of them, right? You have the console, you have the accessories, and of course, important to this rant, you can still... There's still the games. You can still buy games physically in the case and shit. And having that... And switching games to digital gets rid of that. Gets rid of that, like, record of them. Because, again, with the whole delisting games whenever companies want, when they get rid of games, there's no remnant of them. If you don't get the game in time before they delete it, well, it's gone. Hell, not even just even if you do have the game, they delete it. It's like you just have no record of it whatsoever. Even if you buy it, they can still delete it. With physical games, what are they just gonna break down your front door and steal it from you? It's like you're still able to have the game if you buy it, still preserve it. Then there's also the collectability aspect, as being able to just buy a game and then put it like in line with the 500 other games I bought physically is the best feeling as someone that likes to play video games, because it's really nice to just stare back behind me where I have my games and just look at the progress I've made at spending money. It's just, you can't beat that with physical, or not physical. You can't beat that with digital. Oh my god. Like, yeah, consoles give you, like, a whole menu with, like, the icons of games you've bought digitally, but that's just not the same as just a whole shelf of freaking Xbox and, like, Nintendo games lined up next to each other. And that's also it, too, with that. It's, like, you can have, like, different consoles, like, different console games, like, right next to each other, instead of having your Nintendo games on your Switch and your Xbox games on your Xbox and PlayStation on PlayStation. You can have them all in like the same area, which is really nice. And this whole switch to digital is going to make buying games so much less fun, because you can't just go to a store now apparently and like browse the whole game section. You have to go boot up your PlayStation and buy them on the store there, which, yeah, that's more convenient and like easier to do. But man, it's so much more nice to just go to Walmart or GameStop or Target or whatever stores have game sections, and or have, you know, whatever stores sell games, right? It's just nice to go to them and just browse like the aisles that they have and like the setups they have, the kiosks. You just don't get that with the digital games. And you know what? That's another thing about physical media in stores that I like, is that stores like Walmart, they sell games like cheaper than they would like than digitally, because it feels like every time I go to the gaming aisle in like Walmart or Target, they have a good amount of deals going on, or they're just plainly selling games cheaper than they normally are online. Because like on the PlayStation store, like 9 times out of 10, if you want to buy a game, you're gonna have to buy it for full price. I'm not sure if they do deals on the store there, or if they do, like how often they are, but most likely you're gonna have to buy a game for like the full $70-$60, while if you go to a store or like on Amazon, you could buy a game for like 20, 10, I don't know, 15% off. Anyway, basically, you can, if you buy a game outside of the storefront of the console, you can buy it for a lot cheaper than you would have to. And just being able to do that is nice, but you know, I guess can't have nice things forever, I guess. It just sucks to see PlayStation go down this route and be this obsessive over control, because that's what this is. This whole thing is about them wanting more control over their consumers and their products, because they want people to spend full price on each of their things and being able to have control over everything that they sell. So that way, if they decide that they don't want to sell something anymore, they can just take it away and not give you your money back, right? And it sucks that they're being so anti-consumer right now, because this is anti-consumer. They are not being in favor of consumers. They are not doing what people want. They're trying to cover up. I think in the article they're trying to cover up what they're doing by saying like it's in response to current trends and consumer preferences. that's a load of bullshit, and they know it. Like, people, a large portion of their player base still buys things physically. They're just saying that just to help cover themselves up. Oh my god, I can't speak. They're just doing that to help cover themselves up. But everyone with like a functioning brain can see through their lies. It's bullshit. That's what this is. It's bullshit. It just kind of sucks that they seem like so locked in about it at this point, because it's been almost a week and they haven't like addressed it since they made the announcement, and they haven't made any signs that they were even thinking about reversing it after people responded. And it just sucks. This whole thing sucks. No one wants a digital only future for gaming, because it's only a negative. There's only negatives. There's like very few positives with that scenario. And you know what? It's also kind of funny right now that at this point, with like Xbox kind of seeming to go in the same direction as PlayStation, that like Nintendo is the only company right now that seems to like be more, I guess, consumer friendly. But even then, they're not like super consumer friendly, because they made their fair share of bad decisions recently. But like, hey, at least they're the only company right now that seems to still want to sell games physically, so I at least can give them that. Man, this whole gaming right now is just in such a bad spot. I really hope things improve, but with how they are now, it's looking bleak.